Hey, what's up? We're going to end this marathon of otaku consumerism with my top 5 treasures, the things that I got that I was most happy to get. We're gonna jump right into it with number 5. Which is this book from Mezashi, a Tankobon collection called Summary, and it does indeed summarize all of his work with the Yoshi Maru pairing. So these are two Love Live characters, Yoshiko-chan and Zuramaru-chan, that Mezashi really likes shipping together. Apparently they're somewhat of a canon couple, that they kind of put them together in a lot of the canon work, so it's sort of a natural thing to do. It's not a crack pairing, if you will. But still, to be able to produce enough material of just these two characters to fill up a tankobon is the real dedication. And we've talked a lot about doujinshi, about kind of the doujin spirit, about what the significance of creating and publishing doujinshi is to me and how beautiful I find it. And we'll probably go on at some length later in future videos on that too. But to go up to a tankobon, which is kind of another tier of legitimacy, I think, from the thin books, one that has like a slipcover and stuff, one that looks indistinguishable from quote-unquote real manga. That's amazing to me, that there's that infrastructure, that there's that level of kind of legitimacy. And for something like this too, where I've kind of followed the development of this book from its earliest proto form, where Mezashi was just posting very short comics on Twitter, which some very kind soul at Dynasty Reader, or some Scanlation group affiliated with Dynasty Reader, was translating and uploading there. I instantly fell in love, even though I have not watched Love Live Sunshine and I'm only kind of vaguely aware of the characters. Something about the art style of these comics and the comedic timing and just like the way they depict the relationship, which is always the most important part in Yuri. Like, the individual characters are important, but then kind of the happiness and feeling of love, the way you kind of bring that out in very like small actions and character choices. I thought Mezashi was just an instant genius at that immediately they understood. So the first thing I knew that actually got a official, well, official, that's a strange word to use, that Mezashi actually published themselves as a physical book, was this doujinshi called Midweek Overnight Stay. That's the literal translation. Or not mid, well, that's not really the literal translation. I know that's what it means, but it's actually like midday? I don't really get it. Half day? Halfway through the week? A day occurring halfway through the week? At any rate, it's Weeknight Sleepover is the translation they used on Dynasty Reader. I was blown away by this comic. I think it's a masterpiece. An absolute masterpiece. There's these like long textless sections with no dialogue and just small glimpses of their extremely domestic, extremely comfy activities. Oh, it's a masterpiece. And the fact that it's at the front of the book, I suppose it's probably just chronological order, but it feels to me that Mezashi is acknowledging too that this could be his masterpiece. But there's all sorts of classics in here, all sorts of ones that I've read before, and then near the back there's some stuff that's not familiar to me either. So I don't know if it's just that I missed the scanlation, or they weren't scanlated, or what, but yeah. So I didn't know that this tankobon existed. I was dead set, though, on tracking down all of the Mezashi doujinshi, And I found out that Mezashi was going to be at Comiket. I was really excited for that. I was blown away. Mezashi's booth was extremely popular. It was one where you have to wait outside. We'll do another video on Comiket in general and the crazy amount of logistics and kind of systems that play at Comiket. But basically, the highest tier of popularity in terms of an individual artist is to make you line up outside because there's no room within the building to contain your line. But I did it, you know, I lined up outside and I got one doujinshi, which is in a crate on a boat somewhere in the Pacific right now. But I was disappointed that he didn't have any of his, well, I say he, I don't know if Mezashi is a boy or girl, but they didn't have any of their old stuff out. There wasn't any old doujinshi to buy. So I was like, all right, I gotta go in deep. I gotta dredge the halls of Torinoana and Mandarake and stuff and track down these other books. But then Melon Books, immediately I walk in, there it is, the summary, which has all of the ones I was looking for. I still want the individual ones though, you know, because they're bigger. And then you get the cover page, you know? So I'm still going to look for those at some point in the future. They're still definitely on the radar. But this is like 90% of what I wanted. This is still such an accomplishment. It's great. It's great. Again, this whole doujin spirit, the going from just the Twitter drawings to something you can hold into your hands, which you can buy in a store, that someone could just stumble upon physically in the world and become enchanted. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. All right, so that's number 5. That's number 5. We're just getting started. Number 4. Yes, it's this old Shonen Jump. So why did I buy this old Shonen Jump? So in Mandarake, we're going to do another video about shopping in general, but Mandarake is a very, very special store. It's basically like a manga museum on top of being a store, and every location will have a giant wall of Shonen Jumps, ranging from present day all the way back to like the mid-60s when the magazine started. So I remember when I first saw this, I was like, oh, it'd be cool to get the Weekly Shonen Jump that came out like around when I was born. But it's not like they have every single issue, so I didn't really think of it too seriously. I just kind of checked, and there wasn't around any from around then. But I kept it on my mind. And I was also hoping that if I did find it, it would be affordable, because the prices on these really drastically vary. We saw in one Mandarake, they had the Weekly Shonen Jump that One Piece started in, so that would have been only from like 97 or something, but it was still, I want to say, 100,000 yen, so like $1,000 for this one issue of Shonen Jump. But this one, oh yeah, because I found it at another Mandarake store. I found the one from around when I was born. Is only 200 yen, so of course I had to get it. Of course, Weekly Shonen Jump is the magazine that has One Piece, and it had Dragon Ball, and it had Naruto, and Bleach, and almost all of the gigantic crossover shonen mega hits you can think of come from Weekly Shonen Jump. Some from other competing shonen magazines, but this is the big one for sure. And Weekly Shonen Jump is, of course, what was adapted into Shonen Jump in the West, the monthly magazine, which is where I first started reading One Piece. It was really what got me into manga. I shouldn't have done that. I kind of ripped up the bag. I was hoping I could keep the bag in good condition, but it was already kind of ripped, and there's no way that it was going to be reusable. So I'll have to get some sort of other cover, because Shonen Jump in Japan is printed on this super recycled, really low-grade paper, in order to make it light and in order to keep the cost down. So like a new issue of Shonen Jump is only about 500 yen. So this was 190 yen when it went on sale back in the 90s. So yeah, this was printed in 1991 on April 15th, meaning that it went on sale 3 days after I was born. Which means it was probably at the printing press right when I was also at the printing press, so to speak. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Oh, we got some Yu Yu Hakusho. So I posted this on Facebook. I thought it was pretty cool, and it was like a good sort of souvenir that many people could maybe see the significance and coolness of. And a friend of mine looked it up, and he looked at all the series that were running, and he said the only ones he recognized were Yu Yu Hakusho and Dragon Ball, and that the Yu Yu Hakusho chapter is actually pretty significant. It's the one where he starts to actually kind of fight stuff, whereas the first few volumes of the series are like very realistic and down to earth, and he's just kind of like doing human interest type things, the human condition. But then from this chapter onwards, it's a lot more like demon supernatural fighting, and it's not just about like punks, in back alleys anymore that might have like some demonic or ghosty or type themes or plot elements, but just full on supernatural tournaments and stuff. So that's kind of cool. It's like a little bit of history, it's historic. What else we got in here? The cover is some judo series that I'd never heard of. Hikaru Cha-Cha-Cha. I don't know what they're talking about. It's the lead one here. It's got like the pseudo color pages. Kind of cool. Here we see the Weekly Jump reader survey, which of course is an instrumental part in kind of the ecology of Jump. They use this to determine which series are more popular, which series should get more attention and promotion, and which series they can probably just cut. It's a cruel world. Weekly Shonen Jump. You can read the manga Bakuman to learn all about it. You've got ads. Look at these ads. Look at all this stuff you can buy. Bunch of CDs and stuff. Oh, this is so cool. You can get a Nazi flag for some reason in Weekly Shonen Jump. You can just order one. Big old swastika. So yeah, we got this Judo comic. Never heard of that. Looks interesting. There's the part that's on the cover. Gives them a good throw. Yu Hakusho. Oh, this is the table of contents. Cool, cool. Oh, there's like a Dragon Quest manga in here. Yeah, I don't know what any of this stuff is. This is pretty mysterious to me. This looks interesting. The art style is really kind of Berserk-esque. This is the Dragon Quest one, it looks like. I don't know what this is. This is like some street punks fighting each other. It's even takoyaki on the cover. Oh yeah, my friend said it was the Dragon Ball one was like after Goku goes Super Saiyan, and then he's just kind of toying with Frieza. You mentioned this scene where Goku laughs off a laser blast straight to the face. Oh, is this Slam Dunk? Oh yeah, it's Slam Dunk. I've heard of that. Cool. I don't know anything about it. I just know it's a basketball manga. This looks really creepy and strange. Okay. Some like gag comic. Some like hair removal system that's getting an ad. Some bizarre 4 coma I can't understand. Magical Fantastic Worlds looks kind of cute, really goofy looking. It's crazy. Oh, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Oh, of course, this would be in here. This looks like it's part 3. Does that make sense? Well, I mean, this is part 3, but so I guess that makes sense. Cool. Very cool. The gambling. I kind of remember that part. I haven't read JoJo's in so long. My friend was showing me clips of the Part 5 anime a bit ago. I was like, man, I just don't remember this. Like, it's like when I see it, I'm like, yeah, I guess that happened. But I could not have remembered and told you that that happens in it. This looks dramatic and realistic. Oh, and Kochikame. Of course, Kochikame is in here. It, having run since the 70s. What a nice series. You know, like, I don't really know that much about it or, like, the type of comedy it is. I've heard it's kind of like, you know, almost like a Homer Simpson type character, that he's just a buffoon and he's having fun with his buffoonery. But just the art, just like the amount of art that's produced of backgrounds and kind of like scenic urban Japan, that alone, it's an incredible artistic accomplishment that they did all of that. Nice, nice. Something called City Hunter? That sounds quite familiar. I don't know anything about it, though. And then a baseball manga. Ace. It's called Ace. Okay. Alright. Oh, there's one last one here. What is this? This looks freaky. A lot of these probably were not running by the time I could read. And certainly not running anymore by the time I had any interest in manga. Wow. All right. Yeah, pretty cool. So I was happy to find it. I was happy to find the one that was closest to my birth. That's pretty much exactly as old as me. Me and this volume of manga have been through all the same years. Neat. All right. I gotta make sure I take good care of this because it is old. We're getting old, me and this issue of Shonen Jump. All right. What's next? Oh, this. It's a coin pouch. So in Japan, unfortunately, many places still just take cash. They're a very cash-based society, and if you're gonna do kind of otaku type shopping, especially if you're buying dojinshi and stuff at Comiket, there's no way somebody's gonna take card. They don't know what Square is. They think Square makes Final Fantasy. So yeah, it's interesting. In general, it's very interesting the areas in which Japan is very technologically ahead of us. Things like public transit, and that their systems are just flawless and beautiful and make a lot of sense and always run on time. And then other areas where Japan is like extremely technologically inept, like that they fax each other all the time and they still use cash for everything. So you end up with a lot of change. I hate carrying change. I don't like touching change. I don't like the smell that change leaves on your fingers. So as much as possible, I go out of my way to do it, to avoid it. So I really hated having it in my pocket. Plus, I just got like a new wallet a bit ago. My friends got this for me for Christmas. It's a very, very nice wallet. I'm very happy with it. But it doesn't have space for coins, which at the time I was like, I don't care. I don't like carrying coins. I just use credit card for everything. But then I was in Japan. Big problem. So I got this coin pouch. I was in the store Beams, which is a very cool store. If you're ever in Japan, you should check out. And they had these coin pouches that I was like, oh, that's exactly what I'm looking for. It's quite nice. You know, just like minimal leather, unobtrusive, not that flashy. And then I saw it was made by Hender Scheme. I don't think it's going to be able to focus well enough to see it. But Hender Scheme is a Japanese leatherworking studio that I've followed for quite a while now. I think they make really cool stuff. They're really into using extremely high-grade natural leather to make like really kind of functional, not traditional fashion-y type products, to the extent that it becomes almost like avant-garde in its simplicity or whatever. So probably the thing they're most famous for is, I think they're called like manual production model whatever. And what that is they've taken like a famous shoe, like a pair of Jordans or something, or like a Nike sneaker, whatever, and they've recreated it using like super high grade natural leather, all manually assembled in like a really high quality way, to make a shoe that it doesn't look identical because of course it's made out of leather, but has identical form, identical like structural form and components to an extremely popular kind of mainstream shoe, which I think is like really funny. I think that's a really kind of interesting way to work. And the shoes themselves look really nice, but they are really expensive, and that's coming from me, someone who's just spent probably close to 2 hours now telling you about all the money I spent. But these were affordable. I was really happy I could get something by these people that was in my price range and was something that I really wanted too. So now that I'm home and I've thankfully gone back to not touching cash, I can put my keys in here. Because before I used to put my keys in my wallet, but again, this wallet doesn't really have space for that. I didn't really like putting my keys in my wallet anyways, because it really kind of wrecks your wallet. But I don't like carrying my keys in my pocket, because again, it has all the same problems with change. I just don't like touching it. I don't like reaching in and having to touch it. So now, you put the keys in here. You're leaving. You just take out your key. It's easy. It's easy. Alright, so that was good. I was very, very happy with this purchase. It's fun, too. It's got that, like, snap. That's fun. So that's good. What's next? What's next? Next we have this piece of paper. What does it mean? What is this piece of paper with Japanese writing all over it and some QR code on the back that I haven't tried going to? What does it mean? Well, this is your pass to get into Comiket if you are a circle that's going to sell doujinshi. You can see right there, it talks about what day you are. So that's Monday. And then, I don't know what that next part is. Oh, East Hall. Yeah, that would make sense. And then he was in booth Ma 44A. So this, of course, is for my friend's booth. He got 3 of these for his booth. He gave one to a friend of his that's been to Comiket before, who really helped us out a lot with like setup stuff and knew what to do and where to go and all of that. And then he had the other one to me, because I was gonna go and help sell, which I did, and that was a lot of fun too. I don't know what this says. I haven't really bothered to try to read it. Oh, circle name, Chikawa Parfait, right. And then a bunch of other stuff. But yeah, this is pretty cool. This is like, I never thought I would have something like this. It's on the other side. All of this stuff takes place on one side, which is the side of the consumer, which is an important side. It wouldn't work if it wasn't for the consumers. And something that really moved me the first time I went to Comiket, I didn't see it this time. I don't know if they're still doing something like this, is near the big exit, on a big screen that's normally showing advertisements, right at the end of the day they played this special video that was all just cuts of anime characters thanking you. And the message, which was kind of more explicitly told to you by the subtitles, was like, don't forget, this is how it works. You come and you spend a bunch of money and you buy stuff, and that's what allows this stuff to keep getting made. If it wasn't for you coming out here and supporting artists and supporting studios and spending outrageous amounts of money on merchandise and comics, there wouldn't be all these people out here selling you merchandise and comics. So yeah, you know, I'm a dirty, filthy pirate. A lot of the times I pirate oodles and oodles of media. But then, of course, I also spend all of the money I have on media as well. I'm maxing out my media purchasing abilities. Um, Anyway, so that's all good. You know, that already makes me feel pretty good to remember that this is the process by which this art form moves forward. But now I'm on the other side. For the first time ever, I was able to involve myself on the other side of it, the actual production of these things. I mean, I've like kind of been close before in that I helped with like scanlation groups and such, and I think that has, you know, a pretty non-negligible, like a pretty significant impact on how those artists' works are perceived in the West. You know, like I think I helped bolster the popularity of Inio Asano in the West, which makes me really happy. Like I'm very proud that I was able to help with that. But it's different, you know, because it is just the West and because it is piracy still. It's different. It's different. But something like this, I was involved just a bit, just a bit. I was helping out with one booth out of like 30,000. So at most, I could say that I was like 1/90,000th of the Comiket. No, not even that. Even less than that. But I one 200,000th, 200,000th. I contributed to Comiket on the production side. That makes me pretty happy. That makes me pretty happy. So next, of course, gotta draw my own doujinshi. I gotta get in there and sell my own work. We all know how well that's gonna go. Yeah, alright, so yeah, I gotta be very careful with this. I don't want to lose this. It's very precious to me. So number one, what is my absolute favorite thing that I got in Japan? Yeah, that's right. It's One Punch Man, Volume 15 in English. Oh, what a fantastic volume. We're starting to get into the Monster Association stuff. All sorts of things showing up, rampaging through the city. Where are they all coming from? Why are they seemingly coordinated? I don't know. I don't know. We got the Garo Watchdog Man fight. Insta classic. I want to see more Watchdog Man combos and stuff. Fight against King. Ooh, King puts up a good fight. Oh, man. Oh, how is King so strong? No, I'm just kidding. This was just waiting for me in my mailbox when I got home. No. So this is my favorite thing that I got in Japan. Oh, is these. It's the Campfire Audio Cascades. So Campfire Audio is a brand of they mostly make IEMs, like in-ear monitors. So I'd never even heard of them because I don't really follow IEMs as much as I do over-ear headphones. But we went to a store in Akiba called E-Earphones, which I highly, highly recommend. Anybody who's into headphones or just into music at all, or ever just listens to music portably, you owe it to yourself to drop in there with your favorite MP3 player or with music on your phone or whatever and demo some headphones. Because the most remarkable thing about this store, it isn't just that they've got every headphone you can think of and like all the flagship level ones. It's that you can try anything in the store. You can just walk up to like a $2,000 set of cans and plug it into your whatever and pop them on and check it out. So we spent, geez, like quite a few hours there. It was a nice, relaxing experience. It's a nice change of pace from like running around doing whatever else. Just going around listening to music, trying out different headphones. So I tried dozens and dozens of pairs. I can go on and on about this. I actually wrote quite a lot about this experience right after it happened, but eventually I stumbled upon these. And it was like all the other headphones, you know, I had kind of been trying to figure out what they were really good for, what sort of genres sounded best on them, what their specialties were. But this one, it's just like everything. It was like a real get you somebody who can do both scenario. This is what they look like. They're all folded up right now, but we'll take them out. And I haven't actually listened to them at home yet. They have a 3.5 millimeter jack. Is that right? Or is this 0.9 and the other one is 3.5? Yeah, I think this is 0.9. The other one is 2.5. Okay, that makes more sense. But yeah, my stereo at home that I plug my headphones into has 3.5 millimeter input, so I haven't tried these yet. I actually like that it has 0.9 by default. Before I used to always think of that as like a mark of inferior headphones, but that doesn't make any sense. So it's much more convenient for travel and stuff, and the cord is a lot shorter, so they're definitely made with like portability in mind, which I guess makes sense given that they're largely an IEM thing. Anyways, I bought one of these. 3 point... Wait, what? I thought... Is 0.9 then the like the microphone for headset size? Anyways, it's 3.5 to 6.5, quarter inch, right? Quarter inch. It's so weird because I'm used to saying 3.5 millimeter to refer to the small one, but then I do think I've heard quarter inch a lot more for the big one. So I don't know what's going on. Oh man, why are these always so hard to open? Just let me add it. So yeah, this is the first time I'm actually going to try them on my proper home setup. So I'm quite excited for that. But I don't know. I wrote a lot about it. I'm not really sure how to write or speak about audiophile type things. I think unless you're actually experiencing it yourself, it's always going to feel a little corny, like a little... oh yeah, the warmth, okay, the staging. But... I don't know. That's really how it is. So yeah, I'm not going to tell you how much I spent on these. They're definitely the most expensive thing I bought. You can look up the price, but you should know that I paid less than all of the prices I could find online, which was one of the reasons I bought it there. There was a used pair that I thought had quite a reasonable price, so I picked them up. It was still very expensive though. Yeah, let's give it a try. So they're closed. My previous headphones, these are the ones that I've been using for about 9 years now. They're Sennheiser HD555s. I really like them. I could have just gone on happily using them, even though they are getting kind of beat up. This one side is all rusty, which sort of disturbs me. But they're open. So headphones are either described as open back. You can see here that there's like a grating on the speaker. So there's nothing that actually totally encloses where the speaker is. So they all have like pros and cons. Generally, the closed back, because the sound is kind of like trapped within it, it sometimes can like limit or distort the sound it's actually able to produce. These, though, I didn't have that problem at all. I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know where to begin, like, describing these. It's more about the significance that I bought them, right? That I finally took the plunge and spent a lot of money on headphones, and that I'm really, really happy with them, and that it's fun that I got them in Japan. That, you know, it's something that I'm gonna use like every day going forward. So these are closed backed, so they isolate the sound quite a bit. So I might be speaking much louder than I was just a second ago, because I failed to account for the fact that I've like muted myself. Um, anyways, yeah, let's listen to something. Um, we're gonna listen to. Oh, I don't know. It feels like it's got to be significant. Ooh, Elevators by Outcast. All right, I'm gonna have to turn it down a bit. It's gotta load. Gotta itch my ear a bit. It's still loading because I haven't used the. Oh. Oh my god. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. It's like these aren't monitors. These aren't about um these aren't really about accuracy in having a complete, consistent sonic picture of what really is happening in the music. So you wouldn't use these in like production. What these are more made to do is to like highlight certain aspects of the music, and to basically give you a more tailored sound experience for the sort of music that you like listening to. Now, I like listening to a lot of different music, of course, but I like kind of the same things in a lot of the music I listen to. I really kind of appreciate um, like the bass, especially percussive bass. I like songs that have a feeling of like warmth to them. And warmth is one of those audiophile words that you hear a lot when people are talking about high-end sound equipment, and no one can ever really fully describe what it means. But it's kind of like that like halcyon effect around music, that kind of like halo that spreads just a bit further. It's easier to talk about it like visually than to actually try to describe the sound of it, I think. But it's sort of like a bleed. The sound is just bleeding out a little bit, which sounds maybe negative. And again, if you're going for full accuracy, you wouldn't want to hear things like that. But it's like it makes all the things I listen to. It brings out really the bass and like the warmth of the bass, and then it still leaves room. And again, when I say room, I'm conflating a spatial and an auditory thing, but there's room around this warmth, or kind of cutting through this warmth, for like really precise sounds, and then like very layered and staged sounds in kind of the mid-range tonally. I don't know. I can go on and on like this. It doesn't seem helpful though. You just gotta try them. Um, Again, this was the first time I'd heard of this brand or seen these headphones. I'm not sure where you can go try them, but if you ever have a chance, check out the Campfire Audio Cascades. I really highly recommend them. They're probably not for everybody. Again, it just kind of depends on what sort of music you listen to and what you like in music. But for me, these are ideal. Like, these are like as good as it gets, I think. And I feel fairly confident in saying that because, again, I tried so many other pairs of headphones that day. And it wasn't like these were the unanimous victor. There was lots of other things that other ones did better. But just for the sort of thing I'm interested in, again, it's like, oh, so lovely. Oh, I'm so happy with them. So yeah, you know, the sentimental value, it's not as high as something like this, where, oh god, it's the exact same age as me, that's like mind-blowing. Or something like the Comiket ticket, where it's just the sort of item that I never had even hoped to own. This is something that I just bought from a store, you know, Any high-end audiophile store could have had them just as easily. But it's something that I'm going to use every day. And I hope for a long time the excitement of how good they are and my happiness in having got them in Japan and binding all of those memories with it, I don't think that's going to fade. I think that's going to stay with me and feel powerful for a long, long time. Blah, blah, blah. All right. That's enough. That's enough for this video. Next we're going to talk about other stuff. Okay, bye.